providing resources and comfort to caregivers. This is Caregiver Crossing.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Caregiver Crossing. We're so glad that you're here. And Caregiver Crossing, you might want to know, is a show brought to you by Joy's House. That's where Noah and I work.
Hey there.
That's Noah.
Hi.
And I'm Tina. And we are presented in partnership with Cardon and Associates. And we're right here with you every week to discuss all things caregiving. You know what is a caregiving thing?
What is a caregiving thing?
Armchair traveler.
What is that?
I
What
don't
is
know.
that? Tell me
mean,
more.
Listen. All right. So this is actually something I saw on TikTok. And it's a senior living community in New Jersey that created this monthly program called Armchair Travelers. And what they're trying to do is help their residents just experience travel when they can't maybe get out and physically or mentally travel the world like they're used to. And so they transform the room to feel like an airplane, and they have rows of chairs. They've got the little drinks you would get. They have passports and brochures and souvenirs and food that is from the featured country. And then each month the residents travel somewhere new. And in the one I saw, the destination was Spain, and it was so cute. And I know you saw it because I sent it to you.
Yeah, I know. I was very excited to watch it.
So if you were going to travel, where would you go?
Okay, well, number one, I mean, always comes to my mind is Ireland, is the place that I've always wanted to go. I'd love to get to eat the food. I want to hear the music. What I'm nervous about is the airplane. So maybe this armchair traveling would be a good first step for me.
I think it would. I also think it sounds like maybe we're doing some traveling therapy for you at the
Yeah,
same time, which is
probably.
fine.
Yeah.
But I'm in. Yeah, I traveled to Scotland last year for the first time. That was the furthest I had traveled. It was not bad at all. I promise you. And I'm not a huge fan of planes or flying over the ocean.
So what if you were a caregiver, though, with your loved one on the airplane? Do you think that would be a lot harder?
I mean, I guess we have to insert diagnosis here.
Right,
And
right.
yes, I do.
Yeah.
And I think that's when somebody has to talk with their medical team to see if there are other ways. I would first challenge, why are you taking your loved one to wherever you're going?
Right.
And so if it's not really something that has to happen, or maybe if it's going to rattle their cage, so to speak, mentally or physically, it's going to somehow set them back, then I wonder why we're taking our loved one to Ireland.
Right, because it can be really hard depending on their mobility, their health. I mean, the cost for caregivers to be able to
Yeah.
travel, across the
Are
country.
you doing it for them, or are you doing it for
For you,
yourself? And I
yeah.
think there's a big difference in there. And
Right.
so, it's one of the reasons I would say, do the things while you can, my friends.
Yes.
Life is so short, and we put these things off because of money, because of responsibilities, because of health or time. Like, I know I've done it. And yet we have to get out and live. We just have to.
Yeah, you got to get joy somehow.
We have to. So, yeah, I mean, let's be honest. It does get a lot harder. So it's part of the reason to do it now. The other thing I would tell you is that there is, this is one of the things when I was in Scotland that really struck me. I would talk to people who were from around the world, right? Whether I was in Scotland or like in the midst of travels. And I've talked with a lot of people from different parts of this beautiful globe of ours. And they ask often, why does anybody from the United States leave? My experience has been outsiders of America like us better than we like ourselves.
Probably right about that.
And they love our country. And I'm making an overarching statement here, right?
Yes,
But
very
they love
general.
our country. They love our diversity. People would talk with me about the diversity and about the different cultures within, and about the fact that we have, mountains and flat and creeks and oceans and like all of this varying landscape that we have. And they said, why would you ever leave the States? You have everything right there. And I
Yeah.
was like, well, we don't have the history that you have in other parts of the world.
That is very true.
Yeah, I don't know. So there's a lot of traveling that can be done even by car. You know?
Yeah, I mean, especially in the U.S.
Yeah. You have a thought.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say that. I mean, this is really even cool for people who have traveled before. I mean, I'm thinking about a specific guest or person who maybe is from another country, but can't make the travel back anymore. So being able to do that armchair travel experience where they're from, I mean, could bring back some really beautiful memories.
Absolutely. I mean, yes. And what we see a lot, particularly with somebody living with a dementia, is, the language comes back, or the smell of the food takes somebody to a different place. There are stories of childhood that come up, the music alone, my goodness, So you can do this at home too. If you've got somebody that you're like, no matter what their age, that you're like, I'm going to do this, how fun this could be. You pick your country, you pick your place, you pick your culture, whatever it is, and just immerse yourself in your four walls.
I think I'm going to start just doing this like weekly anyway. Like we should
This
just
could be
have
a great
like a
date with your girlfriend.
That's what I was thinking. Like just to be able to experience a different country's culture each week. Now,
Every
I
week,
love the
though?
okay.
Every
Maybe
week,
once a
Noah?
month. I was gonna say I really love the food part, and what got me excited about that is we actually got to do something like this at Joy's house.
Yeah.
We got to do an armchair travel experience for one of our guests for their wish day. And she loved Jamaica, so we set up an armchair travel experience where the plane was going to Jamaica, and we had our staff here at Joy's house. They were taking brochures, they were taking passports that we had made. We had made tickets so that when our guests stepped on the plane, they could really experience that. And we had food, we had music paired with it, we had different history and trivia facts for our guests.
I love it.
But my favorite part is the food.
Well, my family does a gourmet night, and so we'll pick a theme. I picked French food. My family was like, "What are you doing?" And then everybody picks a recipe. It has to be something you've never made before, and we have a meal that is focused on a different culture or country.
I love this because I think it shows for caregivers and anybody that it doesn't have to be like a super big, extravagant moment. You can just be making food with your loved one, and I think that's really special.
I mean, and maybe, if you've got old souvenirs, pull them out.
Yes.
Like if you've traveled to the place before, look at those pictures, talk about things together, or just dream. But don't wait. Don't wait to do it. Like, let's do these things now. Oh, we should start having like themed birthdays and funerals. And, there are things.
Anything whimsical, I'm so in
I'm
for.
too. I really am too. All right, listen, I know that we have to go. All right, it's fine. We have to go.
Wait, I didn't ask you. Where would you want to go? Where would your experience
Greece.
be?
I think Greece.
Okay, tell me why.
I think the guys are really hot.
Okay.
No, I love my husband, and he is Scottish. No, Greece. It is the beauty. I feel
history.
like the air smells different. It just something about it is magical to me. So that's it.
All right. Well, we do have to go now, and you can find past episodes of the show at joycehouse.org. And be sure to like and follow us on Facebook. If you'd like to connect with us to discuss show topics, need help connecting with resources, have a question that you'd like for us to answer right here on air, or just want to say hey, you can reach us at joycehouse.org, or you can email Tina at tina@joycehouse.org.
Insurance isn't one size fits all. That's why customers have enjoyed Progressive's Name Your Price tool for years now. With the Name Your Price tool, you tell them what you want to pay, and they'll show you options that fit your budget. So whether you're picking out your first policy or just looking for something that works better for you and your family, they make it easy to see your options. Visit Progressive.com. Find a rate that works for you with the Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Your day moves fast. Your news should too. That's why there's a new and improved Wish TV app bringing you more local news, breaking alerts, live streaming, weather forecast, radar, and Indiana sports all in one place. Customize your news feed to see the stories that matter most to you and get the information you need when you need it. Download the new and improved Wish TV app today on iOS or Android and take News 8 with you everywhere.
We're back on Caregiver Crossing. Tina McIntosh and
Noah Taylor.
That's right. We're here at the Joy's House studio, and we are really excited to invite back, and I say that because he's one of our favorite guests, Richard Brendan, who is He's a hospice chaplain. He's a life transition mentor, so good. Speaker, a longtime facilitator of really meaningful conversations around life, death, and I don't know, all the stuff that kind of comes in between. So when you, hi, friend.
Hi, Tina.
When you tell people, they say, what do you do in life? How do you respond to that?
I say my purpose in life is to inspire hearts and minds. And all the different things I've done so far up until now, 20 years hospice chaplain, 20 years radio host, minister, had a not-for-profit. Really, I always tried to inspire in many different ways to the people I served. And so I feel like the only reason I'm still here is to inspire hearts and minds, to breathe hope into them. And goodness sakes, we need that now more than ever.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
I mean, you do such a good job. Would you consider yourself like hippy dippy?
Yes.
What's your vibe, man?
I am more hippy dippy. As a matter of fact, I'm wearing a 15-year-old shirt. That's my favorite. I've worn it so much. This started to wear thin. If you look close, I had a lady, put a patch on it, and I'm still wearing it.
I see the patch now.
Yeah.
I would not have noticed it.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny?
Well,
and is this who you've always been?
yeah, I never, growing up in a home, I never felt like I really fit in anywhere, but I've noticed that I'm an earth lover. I love to go barefoot, wear sandals, shorts. If I could do that all year, a little hard sometimes in the winter in Indiana, but that seems to be who I am. My favorite guy still is Jimmy Buffett. I'm a parrot head, Eagles. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with
much.
you.
Yeah.
So I have to tell you before we get into the real meat of this, but a few weeks ago, I took my little nieces who are 6, 7, and 8, and we went to a local farm here, Spencer Farm.
Oh, yeah.
And we were going to pick wildflowers. You buy $10, you buy the little vase, and then you can fill it up with as many flowers as you can put in it. It had rained the night before. And so by the time my mother, my daughter and her fiance and the girls and my sister and I got out there, we have this group of people with our vases, and we look over and it is just mud. Mud. And I think it was my daughter that said, I'm going barefoot. And I was like, oh, I'm going barefoot. You couldn't wear shoes in there. They would have just into the mud stuck.
Yeah.
And so we all took our shoes off.
Yes.
And we went out there, and it was so grounding. Like so gross for some of you. I know you're trying to drink your coffee, but the mud squishing between your toes, and we were up beyond our ankles at one point.
Oh yeah,
it was wonderful.
Walking in the mud is amazing, and I can't believe you said wildflowers because that's my favorite type of flower, the wildflowers.
Here we are.
Yeah, and here we are.
See?
Yeah.
And I love Buffett.
Yes.
Me too, just for the record.
Okay, Noah?
I'm still here
Chime
too.
in, Noah.
So, Richard,
yes.
you have sat with a lot of people, at the end of life, and we want to know specifically what caregivers have taught you. We talk a lot about the dying individual, and by that I mean somebody who is actively dying. But what have you learned from the people surrounding them?
The takeaways I've had over the years are caregivers that I've witnessed that were true caregivers. It was always so filled with love, sacrificial love, day in and day out. They, whether it be being present or changing diapers of your grandparent or parent, that's what I took away the most, was the degree of love that they had. Also, I witnessed, and would oftentimes, when I was a chaplain, had to counsel them about this, is caregivers tend to really be good about giving, not so much about receiving.
Oh, preach.
So I also witnessed a lot of burnout too, and yet
Yes.
they felt like they still had to do it. They still had to do it.
Nobody else can do it like I do it.
Exactly. I've heard that a
What
lot.
if? What if
Yeah.
I walk away? What if I go to the grocery and they die when I'm gone? Or
That's a big one, Tini, because I was talking to someone else about that, and that is, and you know this, but sometimes we'd have to talk to families and say, look, we say that nobody wants to die alone, but sometimes that loved one, when they're wanting to take that last breath, they want you not there.
I feel like it's more often than not.
I agree.
You walk out to go to the bathroom, you go to
Yes.
get a cup of water, you answer a phone, you look. My dad died when we looked away.
Oh, yeah.
All three of us looked at the door because somebody knocked.
Yeah.
And I turned back and he took his last breath. And I was
Yeah.
like, we have been sitting here for days.
Uh-huh.
I mean, 45 minutes of just staring, waiting.
Yes.
And it took a light little tap at the door and a turn of the head.
That's right.
And we came back and he was gone.
You know, it's funny. My dad died, 4 years ago, and my mom would hover over him. He was in a nursing home at the time, and I got away for a couple of days because everyone said, oh, your dad's going to linger for probably a year. Very next day, I heard he passed away, and what happened is my mom had left. His lunch was served because my dad loved food, and he ate most of the lunch and laid down to take a nap, and he died peacefully in his sleep.
I mean, is there anything better?
No, there isn't. And the funniest thing is my mom died last year, September, and my mom was always ornery. She always had to have the last word with my brother and my dad. That's how we grew up. So long story short, here she is. She was afraid to die at first. She finally, I think, got so tired of being tired. And then talking to people like me and other people, she finally got comfortable with it. And as she was transitioning, she started talking about, can't wait to see Aunt so-and-so. And I took that as a great sign. But the day she passed, I had been there most of the day. My daughters came in to help. I was tired, and it looked like she was going to remain active for a while. And so I told my daughters, I said, you know what, I'm going to go down to the nurse's station, go out to the car, and just rest for a little bit. I just wanted to let you know that. And then as a joke, I would often say this to a lot of my hospice patients who were in beds, awake, but it was kind of fun. And I would always say, now don't go anywhere. And so I did that, and I pointed at my mom. My daughters laughed. As soon as I walked halfway down the hall, Lydia comes out and said, Dad, I think Grandma just died. And I said, what? And I went in there, and sure enough, and I had a nurse come in to confirm it. And after all that kind of ended, I started laughing. And I said, girls, you need to know your grandmother always had to have the last word. And when I said, don't go anywhere, that's when she decided to go.
She was like, watch this.
So there's some humor in some of this too. Exactly.
It is just so true. And, you know, Noah and I have talked about this a lot because one of our focuses here at Joy's House is the life after caregiving. And I think a lot of times people don't know what to say, or they think they're saying the right thing, and they will say to someone who's just lost their beloved, well, at least now you can get back to your life.
Yeah.
And what does that do to somebody? And what are maybe some other things that we can say instead of that?
Well, yeah, there's a list of things we shouldn't say, but we do. I've had a lot of people reach out to me, even though I've been retired from hospice for some time, but because of my work, and say, I'm going to visit so-and-so, and I don't know what to tell them. And more times than not, I'll just say, you don't have to say a thing. Just be present.
Yes.
But some of the phrases we use, and sometimes Christians will use scriptures, and everything happens for a reason, and is God's purpose, and all of this and that. That's not comforting at all. And so I think it's just saying less and just taking their cue. And in time, they'll feel comfortable if they have a need to bring it up. But you can just say, hey, love you, just want to be here. And then just kind of toss the ball back to them.
Say less.
Say less.
I
Less
like
is
that
more.
a lot.
Yeah.
All right. You are hearing the voice of Richard Brendan, and we'll be back in a moment. Noah has, when we come back, we've got I know we're talking about death and dying. We have some fun things to do.
Yay.
I don't know if you're aware what Noah has ready, but
No.
something is going to happen when we come back. And so I will say this before we take our break. Is there a way that people can contact you? Or
Yes.
is that a thing?
Yes. You can go to richardbrendan.com, richardbrendan.com, or heck, my number, 317-796-1897. I've had that phone number for a decade or two. It's probably plastered in, well, I hope not bathrooms.
Bathroom
but
walls?
Yeah, exactly.
Woo! Okay, we're going to talk about that when we come back. All right, we'll be back here in just a moment on Caregiver Crossing.
You're listening to Caregiver Crossing, produced by the Joy's House Center for Caregivers. We spend a lot of time asking caregivers how the person they love is doing, but we think there's another question worth asking. If you're a caregiver, who's caring for you? That's why we're here each week, and you can find past episodes of Caregiver Crossing and learn more at joycehouse.org. Caregiver Crossing is supported by Cardon and Associates, with 20 communities owned, operated, or managed throughout Indiana, and nearly 5 decades of senior living experience. Cardon and Associates provides residents with the best senior living options and personalized service. We'll be right back with more Caregiver Crossing.
We're back on Caregiver Crossing. Tina and Noah.
See, it's not just me today.
Noah, it's karma. I was making fun of Noah because he's had a hard time with sentences. Hi, Tina and Noah in the Joy's House studio, and we have with us Richard Brendan, richardbrendan.com if you want to learn more. So here's the deal. You are once again going to be helping host the Death Café here at Joy's House. And I know when somebody hears that, it's like, Death Cafe? I mean, that's weird and scary and uncomfortable. But can you first of all explain what the Death Cafe is, just briefly?
Yeah, I sure can. It started in It started in France, I think maybe a decade or two ago, but it's become more popular here in Indianapolis. A Death Cafe is people come, and they'll have about maybe 5 or 6 at a table, and we'll have a list of open-ended questions. A lot of them are fun. Some of them can go a little deep. And then people will just start answering their questions around the table. We also have refreshments, usually a cake or cupcakes in the shape of a skull, and there's coffee and tea. It's kind of lighthearted that way, but what it does is it demystifies death. It helps people talk about a topic that nobody really talks about at parties.
Truth.
Yeah.
Or ever.
Or yeah,
But
yeah.
yes.
And I've facilitated a bunch of those. And of course, we've been doing that here now at Joy's House. I think we'll have our 3rd one coming up.
Highly successful.
And I love death cafes because sometimes it's so enlightening. I remember a death cafe we did here last year, and a guy showed up and he said, "I just want you to know that I'm terminal,
Yes.
but I just wanted to come and
Yes.
get some inspiration or just hear the conversation." So you never know who's going to be around the table.
And you're welcome to come, my
Absolutely.
friends.
Please,
so,
please
you know,
do.
you can follow us on social media and get information there, or you can
Yes.
email me at tina@joyshouse.org. So here's the deal. Normally, you know, you're part of us facilitating questions, right? We're doing
Right.
that together.
Right.
Today, my friend, Noah has turned the tables.
Has he?
And we are going to ask you some sample questions from the death deck that we use for death cafes. So, Noah, are you ready?
Okay, question number 1 here. Would you want to know the exact day you are going to die?
No.
Why?
Would
Why not?
anybody want to know? I think I would freak out if I've thought about that a lot. I don't want to know when. I don't want to know how I'm going to die.
Because then you're just anxious your whole life,
Exactly.
right? You're
Exactly.
pre-mourning yourself.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, second question here. What is something you hope that people say about you after you've passed?
That he was kind.
I mean, that's an easy one for you.
Yeah, it almost makes me cry.
It's okay.
Because I think everybody should have that kind of an answer because they were kind. Yeah.
Do you know, though, I know a lot of people who that wouldn't be their answer.
Yeah. Right.
And yeah, I mean, but if you were gone right now,
Mm-hmm.
it is one of the many words I would use to describe you.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Back at you, Tina.
Thanks. I know the answer to the next one.
Oh,
What's the next
we
one?
might know it already. If you could choose one song or artist to be
Jimmy
playing
Buffett, Jimmy Buffett.
at your celebration of life, what would it be?
Well, first of all, Tina's psychic.
Tina is psychic, yes.
But I probably did mention that. Jimmy Buffett. I would want several Jimmy Buffett songs. I would want Rainbow Connection played. I would want
Aw.
Iz's song Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
Yes.
That's my heart. I am my whole spirituality now is trying to allow that little boy to come out and play more, and I want to be more eccentric as I get older and point people towards the beauty and joy in the world. And I'm very serious about that.
Yes.
And that's the last time I'll try to be serious. But I love those songs too, songs like that. And I would want that to reflect like at a celebration of life.
You know,
I
we've
love
had,
that.
it's the same thing of like, we've had a lot of rain in Indianapolis over the last couple of weeks. How often have people gone out and played in the rain?
Oh, yes.
Or sing in your car really loud, or play, you know, get down and play with a child, or like I've got a pollinator garden out front at my house, and I say that like I'm fancy. It's new to me. It's a little haphazard right now,
Uh-huh.
but I go out there probably every day when I get home from work. I walk out, I look at the flowers. Sometimes I might talk to them, but I'm looking for the bees and the butterflies, and I just stand there and watch in wonder of how a flower grows. Or it's, you know, like we don't allow ourselves to be to waste time.
That's right.
To, you know, it was air quoted, but like to waste time, to be silly, to walk in the mud.
Yes.
To, you know, so
Yes.
I love all of that.
There's something about awe and wonder, two of my favorite words. And I'm a guy that loves to walk in the rain. So I've already done it once this year, but I literally try to be purposeful about it. As a matter of fact, if it keeps raining when I get home tonight, I might even do it tonight because the
It's just so
temperatures are warm.
great.
Well, it's something I used to do as a boy. And
Yeah.
years later, I forgot to do it. And so now I make sure I do those kind of things.
My sister said this to me not too long ago, and it stuck with me. She said something about the beginner mindset versus the expert mindset. Meaning, if we only would look at everything with a beginner mindset and be inquisitive and be curious and be invested versus the expert mindset. And I've noticed myself thinking about that in relationship with my husband,
Yes.
with my children, like with others here at work. And it's really, really smart. And so I love that idea. And that's what, in a lot of ways, you're describing that beginner mindset instead of, I've already walked in the rain before and this is what I did and didn't like. Like,
Yeah, there's
I
a
want
lot
to
to
go
be
wonder.
lot to be said about curiosity, a lot to be said about embracing the mystery. One of my favorite teachers, Richard Rohr, talks about that a lot. The
Oh,
mystery
I love
of,
him so much.
mystery of life, mystery of death. You were talking about hair and all of that, and sometimes when I wake up now, I have to stretch my back out on the floor. But what I've learned is the first word I say when stuff like that happens, instead of complaining, I say impermanence. My body is teaching me as I age, it's just impermanence. Everything breaks. And I've learned that from a lot of my Buddhist teachers as well. So there's something to try to walk lightly on the earth, I think, is the goal I'm trying to have in my life, where you just kind of do this.
Yeah.
California surfer vibe.
Yeah, right? I
Yeah,
feel it.
yeah.
I know you have another question, but one more thing. I was driving in this morning and I was thinking about someone who really hurt me last year. And I haven't had very nice things to say. The loop in my head are some very not nice words. All right. And I thought instead of that, I need to start saying thank you in my spirit to this person, because really what this person allowed me to do is have some space in my life to look at things from a different perspective. And even though it didn't close or go the way I thought it was going to go, I've decided I'm going to start saying thank you in my spirit instead of the other words that I was saying, which were not very nice.
What a great insight.
Yeah. Well, that was a God thing for me because
Yeah.
I am not that good.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it was really helpful. Okay. One more question.
Okay, I do have one more question.
Make it
So,
good, Noah.
If you could choose anyone, living or dead, to join you for one last meal, who would be at the table with you?
Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, why Abraham Lincoln?
That was quick. He's always been my boyhood idol. I grew up in Springfield, Illinois. I still read about Lincoln. If there's no books I haven't read about Lincoln, I'll usually buy the book. There's something about Abraham Lincoln, because we don't have time to get into it, but his life was really a life of failure. He lost more elections. He only won 2 of the 25 he ran for.
Wow.
The second one happened to be president, but he ended up being probably the greatest president we ever had. And I would like to say our country's divided. Lincoln, speak to us.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm going to buy you a T-shirt, and I'm not kidding. My husband has it. It's Lincoln riding a Harley.
Oh, yes, that'd be cool.
All right. Well, we do have to take a break here. I just want to let everybody know that our next Death Café is October 21st at 6 p.m. at Joyce House. Look at our Facebook or social media for any other details. And Richard, thank you so much for being with us today.
You're welcome. It's a joy.
A show produced by the Joyce House Center for Caregivers. Each week, we share conversations, resources, and support for family caregivers and the people they love. Learn more and find past episodes at joycehouse.org. Caregiver Crossing is supported by Cardon and Associates, with 20 communities throughout Indiana and nearly 5 decades of senior living experience. Cardon and Associates provides exceptional senior living options and personalized service. Stick with us. We'll be right back with more Caregiver Crossing shortly.
Insurance isn't one size fits all. That's why customers have enjoyed Progressive's Name Your Price tool for years now. With the Name Your Price tool, you tell them what you want to pay, and they'll show you options that fit your budget. So whether you're picking out your first policy or just looking for something that works better for you and your family, they make it easy to see your options. Visit Progressive.com. Find a rate that works for you with the Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It's Caregiver Crossing. I'm Terry Stacy, along with Tina McIntosh and Noah Taylor, producing today's show. August is Spinal Muscular Atrophy Awareness Month. Now, this is something I have not heard of. Tina has been doing a little bit more studying, and so is Noah, about what this is. But this is bringing attention to this very rare genetic disorder that affects the nerve cells controlling voluntary muscle movement. SMA can range from severe forms that appear in infancy to milder types that begin later on in life, but early diagnosis can make a life-changing difference. What have you learned in watching? You've been watching, both of you, TikTok, Instagram.
TikTok, that's
and
where I
some
get
of
most
those-
of my
Yeah.
information in the world.
Yeah, well, good for you.
I mean, it's a true story, but I like
No, I
it
mean,
because
it's
these are real
true.
people. And then
They
I also
are.
see interactive conversation from different perspectives. And I didn't know anything really about spinal muscular atrophy. So I appreciate an awareness month. It's working,
Yeah,
right? Like we're bringing
absolutely.
awareness to this. And it affects 1 in every 6 to 10,000 births. And around 1 in 40 to 60 people is a carrier of this. It's actually the leading genetic cause of death in infants because what I understand is a lot of times they can't lift their heads.
Mhm.
And so watching the videos of these folks has been enlightening to me because it's like if someone is going to eat their, let's just say, a bowl of cereal, maybe their hand, they can't voluntarily move that hand. So they have to help that hand to come up, whether it be with the other arm or a device. And so there are lots of ways to, I don't know, like anything, kind of work around, work with a diagnosis. But this is a new one for me. It's a new one for me.
The
What
little
else have
baby,
we
they were
learned?
talking about that little, saw a video of
Yeah.
a mom maybe or a nurse that was holding a little baby to show that maybe this is one of the symptoms or the signs. And it was picking up your little baby as they lay on their stomachs. And then the little baby's head would not, it just didn't come up. It just, gravity pulled it down.
They called it
and
a U.
couldn't.
Yeah.
Did they call
The
it
baby
a U?
kind of went into an upside down U shape, if
Yeah.
you will. Yeah, and yet, you know, a lot of the videos that Noah and I just watched were of adults living with this,
Yes.
you know, spinal muscular atrophy. It's SMA, and living very full lives because they figured out how to work, you know, in spite of, because of, along with this diagnosis.
I think it's so important too that early diagnosis really can make a life-changing difference. I mean, this isn't just for spinal muscular atrophy, but honestly, we see a lot of diagnosis where early detection can save lives. Whether that's any type of lung cancer, any type of cancer like that, or something like this as well, catching that early on and doing those screenings can really save lives.
It's an interesting point because how many of us, I mean, like, raise my hand, how many of us put off going to get tested or looked at for something?
Because you're scared.
You're scared. It's
You
not
think
your
it'll go
priority.
away.
I
Yeah.
don't have the time. Yeah, just give it
Lots of
another couple
excuses.
months.
It won't happen
Yep.
to me, blah,
Right?
blah, yeah.
I mean, I as someone who has lived through 2 primary cancers, I can't tell you how many people in my world have waited to go in to be tested for a cancer to find out that if they had gone 6 months earlier when they found a lump, or they had gone 8 months earlier when they had that chronic pain, it would have been a different prognosis.
Would have been a different story.
Yeah.
We talked about that too a little bit last week, since it's National Eye Exam Week. We also talked about going to get
We
your
did.
eyes tested as early and as often as possible too, to
And
make
that's
sure
one
you're
of
aware
them that we
those
don't
things.
do.
Right.
We
Right.
often put off eye doctors.
I mean, I'm
of
just
all of
saying,
them.
again, something I did over sabbatical time.
Went to go see the eye doctor.
And why? Because I just couldn't make the time
Yeah.
when I was due months ago. I
Yeah.
just, we're terrible at it.
We are terrible
at it.
at it, and we also are frustrated with
Ugh.
the healthcare system.
Yeah.
Not being able to get appointments for months down the road. And I mean, I think we're frustrated with the medical world right now.
But even more reason to call today.
I agree.
Right? Because
wholeheartedly.
I understand that. But if we call now
Yeah,
and set the appointment for when we
I agree.
down the road, it doesn't make a big difference if it's in 3 months. But I agree, getting with the specialist is really hard. There were some things that Noah and I stumbled on when we were watching these videos, though, that I think are really important to pass along for anybody. Again, we're talking about Spinal Muscular Atrophy Awareness Month. It is often known as SMA, and it is a disorder it's a genetic disorder that affects the nerve cells that control your voluntary muscle movement. So you can't maybe move the things you're hoping and trying to move. But here were some tips that people gave us from the TikTok. Air tags on your wheelchair.
Honestly, that story, that is a fantastic tip, but that story is really sad too, and one that I didn't even think about. When you're on a flight for hours, and then the moment you get off, your wheelchair's not there.
Yes.
Is that something that when you were watching that TikTok video, is this not a rare occurrence?
I believe it happens.
It happens more than it should.
And can you imagine not having the thing that is the reason
Your
you can get
transportation,
from A to B,
right.
and
Yeah.
your comfort, and it's
Right.
becomes a part of you.
Yeah.
I mean, so putting an air tag on your wheelchair, brilliant.
Very smart.
Laminated instructions for how to fold or unfold or move, and just hook those onto a wheelchair if you're using that. Someone else talked about how because of their diagnosis of SMA, they're sitting all of the time and get all these hot spots on their bodies in places that are not comfortable. And so using, body powders, or there are certain cushions and seats, making sure you're moving your body around. And I just think that leads me to, you've got to talk with your medical team. And your medical team is, yes, your doctor or your PA or your nurse practitioner. It is also very much your therapists, your PTs, your physical therapist, your occupational therapist, your speech therapist, and just telling them what's going on. I think you'll be surprised at the solutions they can come up with. And some are homemade and easy, and others you can just buy by going, to
Getting
the
from
drugstore.
Walmart. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. But it really is also interesting, and you both have done it, and that is finding out help from watching TikTok videos. At least
I'm
great
telling you.
advice, and that stuff works too. I mean, it's just amazing to me.
Well, it's
how
funny.
much, and that's like number one, I think, on where we're getting our medical advice is on social media.
I mean, listen, I'm
You know?
53 years old, and when you presented that this was Spinal Muscular Atrophy Awareness
Yeah.
Month, what was the first thing I did? I didn't Google it. I didn't, go into anything else. I literally pulled up TikTok and put it because I wanted to hear from people. I wanted to see people who are
Right.
living with the diagnosis. I don't know. I'm a huge advocate for TikTok.
And it's real people with real stories that have the real tips to share to us.
Good
yeah.
stuff.
There's lots of caregiving stuff on TikTok. There are also really great videos, or not just dancing. Try not to laugh. Dog videos are great.
There's real help on there.
Right? But honestly, get out of your comfort zone.
Yep.
And let's try and empower ourselves with knowledge, whether we get it from TikTok, or you can get out your encyclopedias, or you can Google things, or you can actually just talk to another human. But we got to go. We'll be here next week on Caregiver Crossing. I am so sorry, but we are done for the week.
Until next time, take good care of each other.